All right, so next up is upper strut mounts and camber plates that we produce. These would be both for the front and the rear. We're going to talk about the 991, 718, and 981 upper strut mounts. And we're going to run through a slew of questions so that you can understand what the benefits of these might be. What are the benefits of using camber plates over stock mounts? Well, more camber, more negative camber. We also move the entire strut assembly more inboard so that you might be able to run wider wheel and tire package without as much collision. How much additional cam can these plates provide? Typically about -2 more than, -1 more than stock. There are ways that you can get more because you can swap them side to side if you wanted to, et cetera, et cetera. You need to be careful doing it all from trying to get all of your camber adjustment just from camber plates. We have some other parts that we would recommend, inner control arm, extended inner control arms and the like, to be able to get additional camber. Why is the monoball bearing important to handling? The monoball at the attachment point for the strut and incorporated in the camber plate is critical to have the strut not squishing around in some kind of rubber at the top and changing your camber dynamically as the car is rolling over. They minimize, the next question is, how do these mounts minimize camber changes under load? Kind of related to the previous question. By having a solid mount at the top, you remove deflection that as the car is applying load to one side or the other, that the rubber might deflect and remove some of the negative camber. What specific driving scenarios benefit most from increased camber? Well, these are sports cars, and the hope is that you are driving your sports car in a spirited manner, be it on the back roads, mountain roads, or on the racetrack. And because of the spirited manner and the amount of G's that you are getting the car to lean over, almost all cars driven in a spirited manner would benefit from more negative camber. What maintenance is required for the monoball bearing? None. Just check it on occasion. Make sure that it's still looking clean and clear. How does this upgrade affect tire wear during aggressive driving? That's a good question. By getting the tire, by adding negative camber, negative static camber, there we go, to the car, meaning as the car's sitting there, you add negative camber to it. When it leans over, the tire is going to be more flat on the road, like this, even though at standstill it might be sitting like this to the ground. You know, this is a bit of an exaggeration, but as you're cornering, that outside tire is going to be flat as you're trying to go around. You will see less outside wear on the car by adding more negative camber. You could see slightly more inside wear if you were to do an incredibly aggressive alignment and only ever drive the car 30 miles an hour back and forth to Cars and Coffee. So if you're not going to drive the car in a spirited way, then you probably don't need an aggressive alignment or a track-oriented alignment. For those of you even occasionally going to the track or driving the car spiritedly in the mountains, you absolutely should have a track alignment. There is no pussyfooting around with halfway alignments. There is either you have one or you do not. And reach out to us as to what those settings might be. They will change with your skill set, with the tire that you're using, with the track that you're driving on. So there is no one absolutely correct alignment setting. Just say that. I say this a lot, but I want to say it over and over again so that one day somebody parrots it back to me and I'll be so happy when I hear it. How do these mounts impact overall suspension geometry? Well, we move the damper more inboard, which allows more static camber. That pulls everything more inboard. We also move them slightly rearward in some cases. For the rear, we'll move them quite a bit inboard, and in some cases a little bit forward. Are there any limitations with certain setups? Unfortunately, yes. So Our strut mounts are only made for GT cars, which are what's called a coilover, meaning that there is a spring and there's a spring perch, and the spring perch can adjust. It has threads. All the GT cars come this way. Cayman GTSs, Carreras, turbos, unfortunately, do not come this way. So our upper mounts would not work on those cars, but they do work on all the cars we say they do. 981, 718, 991, etc. What's the expected lifetime of the camber plates under heavy use? Again, it's going to be dependent on how much grit, how much grime, how often the car is washed, etc., etc. We use the highest grade FK bearing. They're stainless steel. They will not rust. They are Teflon lined to keep all the dirt out. They're literally the best you can get. We've got pictures of some of the other, we'll say the other guys, and their bearings rust, and they're gonna not last as long. So that's all the questions I've got for camber plates. If you all have any more, please reach out. Let us know what they are. We'll add them to the next time.